with us today for the session on Industry 4.0 driven transformation for service sector. I'll hand over to Mr. A.N. Chandramouli to take it forward from here. Thank you so much.
Okay. It's a very crisp introduction. Okay. Thank you all. And I welcome Mr. Ram Shankar, who is a keynote speaker for today. Ram Shankar can come on the video. And as more people are joining, let me give a very brief introduction to the subject of the day and also about the speaker. Let me open a short presentation, 2-3 slides. Niranjan, you are able to see my slide?
Yes, I am able to see.
Okay, welcome once again on behalf of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce and the Industry 4.0 committee, which is bringing a lot of subject matter experts to share their knowledge and experience in the area of Industry 4.0 application to several sectors of the business. And we have in the past focused heavily on manufacturing sector. So I was just wondering, why should we limit ourselves to manufacturing sector? So I was looking for the right speaker for advising on the service sectors. And as you know, service sectors could be anything other than non-manufacturing. I'm putting it that way. But also it could be supporting manufacturing in a peripheral manner, which is what Ram Shankar will talk about. And service sector, as you know, had a tremendous growth during the COVID period. Examples of service sector. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Request new joinees can be muted. Normally, when they join, generally the muting is a problem. No issue. So service sectors could be anywhere spreading over the Ola of the world, where we're booking the taxis for the last 3-4 years. We're enjoying digital technology through Ola car, Uber car, even Meru cabs and other people are joining the bandwagon. I don't want to say more about it. We are all the users of these taxi, where GPS system and the app is nicely embedded along with the IoT technology. And when I say IoT, it's Internet of Things. And the things in the case of Ola car is a mobile phone in the hand of the driver of the Ola taxi and the mobile phone in the hand of the customer who is ordering the taxi. And these two things, along with the GPS system, are interconnected through the internet. So automatically you get a continuous tracking of the taxi and the customer. The time dimension is also captured. The location dimension is captured. And we are very familiar with that application. Likewise, another famous application service sector is our Zomato and Swiggy food ordering. Here I see the Internet of Things. The things being 3 telephones in this case, 3 mobile phones, or maybe 3 devices. The one device is a restaurant manager having a device with him. Another device is with the delivery boy who is picking up the food and delivering it to us, masala dosa or pizza or whatever. And the third device is the consumer who is ordering the pizza or masala. All the 3 are continuously engaged through the internet. It's a wireless, situation. It is not even a Wi-Fi. It's truly the cloud internet. I can go on and on, not to steal the thunder from Mr. Ram Shankar. The third major application is the e-commerce. Big basket is a familiar application to all of us. And I realize, even vegetables and groceries, you can even order a small bonsai plant through the digital transformation of nurseries. Nurseries means as in the industry of fauna and flora. I think sometimes we may even order puppies, the pets. So I think Industry 4.0 has really taken a major breakthrough in the area of service sectors. Of course, originally the coining of Industry 4.0 came in the Industrial Internet of Things, which alludes to the manufacturing sector. But other sectors like service sector also are no exception. Perhaps they started even during the Industry 3.0 era. Now I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Ram Shankar, Chief Executive Officer of MaxByte Technologies. Is a homegrown company headquartered in Coimbatore. I think later he will talk about the profile of the company. I will stick to the profile of Mr. Ram Shankar, young entrepreneur, very successful startup of 6 years tenure since he started this mission, and he leads this and takes it to end-to-end IoT solution for the customers with more than 50 applications and customers in India and many parts of the world, including Middle East, Saudi Arabia, America, England, and even Singapore. MaxByte helps customers to transform the products, process, business models through digital technology, automation technology, improve their product development and life cycle value chain. Value chain as in starting from design to after sale service. The complete value chain. Manufacturing is only a subset of it. Innovation, standardization, time to market, operational efficiency, and competitive differentiation are only some of the applications of the MaxByte technology. Ram himself specializes in the area of digital transformation. Very humble guy. He is a post-graduation in mechatronics from Coimbatore. All his founders, the 5 founders of MaxByte, are all engineers from mechatronics background. And digital transformation, IoT, PLM, engineering, project management, knowledge-based engineering, design standardization, CAT, CAE integration, computer-aided engineering, computer-aided design, interactive electronic technical manuals, which is something I think is done in the aerospace industry, 3D model-based definition. These are all from his work experience. Well before he started his career as an entrepreneur, he had a long stint. Long stint, I think, is an oxymoron. Is in a multiple domains of digital technologies. And in those 11 years across project management, business analytics, continuous improvements, build to print, new product introductions, ERP system, PLM, CAD, all the Industry 3.0 era he has mastered already before he started his 4.0 journey. Market research, vendor management, training, ISO, QMS, internal auditing, industry institute partnership. I mean, sky is not the limit when we go on talking about Mr. Ram Shankar and his colleagues. I'm just filling up the time when more people are joining. Maybe it looks like a long introduction, but you'll have a clear 1.5 hours of a technical session, a webinar, truly a masterclass by Ram Shankar. What are the key takeaways? The focus, as I said already, is service sectors, non-manufacturing sectors, as I said. It could be in the retail, it could be in the hospitality, it could be in the hotels, it could be in literally talking about after sales service. But facility management will be a primary focus for today. Service sector can be a series of webinars. Later I will talk to Ram whether he can do a series of webinars on service sectors, where we kickstart today with the facility management sector. And facility management, as we talk about supporting any mission, be it a factory or a hospital or a hotel. For example, power supply. For example, air conditioning. For example, compressed air supply. For example, sewage treatment plant. For example, fire protection. And not to speak of building management systems, including security and surveillance. So facility management is a very broad and large subject. Other companies use the word building management systems, BMS, and which is a subset of a smart city. In one sense, you look at it, facility management at the micro level could be a factory or a hospital or a hotel. At the macro level, it is for the entire citizens. It's a smart city. It's a smart township. It's a smart municipality. It could be a smart industrial estate, like we have the Toyota Bidadi Industrial Estate. which they're already trying to make a smart city there. And digital on the one pillar and automation on the other pillar of Industry 4.0. The two pillars of Industry 4.0, digital technologies, database decision-making processes are covered by digital technologies. Real-time measurement of metrics is part of digital technologies. And automation takes care of everything other than that, which is how to conduct all our processes with minimum or almost zero intervention by a human being. Of course, human-machine interface is very, very important. Industry 5.0 talks about human-machine interface much more than even 4.0. Transformation tools and techniques, demonstration case studies will be part and parcel of Ram's presentation. And data analytics, a variety of applications. And in the current pandemic of COVID, continuing still with COVID wave 3 pandemic with Omicron and whatnot, I think these points are more relevant as we go along. Before I hand over the mic to Ram, I want to tell you, in year 2022, we are making a big impact with this program today. And I'm happy to tell you that almost there will be 2 webinars per month. Next Saturday, my dear friends, don't forget to join a great webinar by another great speaker. The poster is already circulated by BCIC on smart manufacturing by Mr. Hemant Patil, who had a long stint at Tata Technologies for 30 years. And in March, we'll have 2 such webinars, one talking about digital convergence, which is a very interesting topic by another great speaker, Mr. Vijay Gunti from Hyderabad. And Mr. NP Sundar will talk about how we can leverage Industry 4.0 for maintenance 4.0, which is also a part and parcel of after-sales service 4.0. But Mr. Sundar's focus in March will be on the topic of process equipment industry. He had a long stint with Reliance, 30, 40 years of, so he will bring that fantastic exposure. So I'll stop sharing now and coming back to the video once again, Mr. Niranjan. I hope I was audible and you could see the way forward for Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce. In February, 2 knowledge sharing sessions, and in March, 2 knowledge sharing sessions, and April, I'm sure I'll bring up 2 more knowledge sharing sessions. Last year, we had 1 per month. Our president, Mr. K.R. Shekhar, said, can we have 2 per month, or why not even 1 per week? So these kind of visions are now exploding. We have around 30 attendees already joined. I think more are joining. Without much ado, I hand over the mic to Mr. Ram Shankar. Over to you, Ram Shankar. And at the end of 1.5 hours of Ram Shankar, we will have question answer session. Don't go away. We will have very, very interesting question and session, mostly addressed to Mr. Ram Shankar, and I can support him wherever required. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. Ram Shankar, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such a wonderful
you can
introduction.
Come on the video also, Ram. Video will be nice.
I'm already in the video, sir.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Are you able to see me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So thank you so much, sir, for the introduction.
Thank you. Also, another advice to all the participants is to keep every slide of Ram, you can keep typing is an appreciation or a question or a clarification or your comment. You're most welcome to start typing right now. Thank you very much. I am switching off my video.
Okay. All right. I hope you're able to.
Yes, we can see you and we can also hear you.
Yeah, so hope you're able to see my full screen.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So thank you so much, BCIC and Chandramoli sir, for giving us an opportunity to give a talk on the advancements and technologies in service sector. Specifically, service sector is a huge sector, and it's an ocean. And in that, we are going to focus only on the facilities management, which is common across the industries. So we felt so that it can be correlated by everyone. and also I hope the inputs from this session will be helpful for you. So as an introduction about MaxPipe, we are an industrial digital and robotics solutions company from Coimbatore, and we are mainly focusing on how to transform the engineering, manufacturing, and aftermarket functions of the industries into
Ram,
digital and autonomous.
One request, Ram, you could be a little louder.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, but it could be a little more louder so that people can.
Okay. Okay. Is it okay? Can you hear me? Is it better?
I can hear you, but the volume could be a little better. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you. So yeah, so we are an digital and robotics solutions company, mainly to improve the industry's productivity, flexibility, sustainability, and profitable revenue growth is what our targets, what we help with our customers. And we are located in Coimbatore, and we started in 2016. Majorly works on these the advanced deep tech technologies for the industries, and we are currently 115 employees working for customers in India, Middle East, Southeast Asia, and recently US and UK. So in terms of the agenda for today, so we are going to more focus on the facilities management. What are the challenges or the impacts currently the facility management is facing, or post-COVID, or what are the challenges they're facing? We also look into what are the technology trends which is transforming the facility management, and how those technologies can be structurally adapted so that they can be more productive and make their job easy. And also we'll share about MaxPace capability in facility management and few case studies and demonstrations. So that's a agenda what I have for the day. So before jumping into the agenda, I'd like to share a few clips, maybe 20 seconds or 20 to 30 seconds. So please do watch those clips. And it's a very important clip. Most of the during the COVID situation, we all know the healthcare frontline workers like doctors and nurses are really helpful for us in terms of saving our lives, ensuring that we are all safe and back to home, and a lot of other difficulties they also faced. So apart from those heroes, there are other heroes also served the entire nation or the world, and in order to save the community. So we're going to see those people in these clips in the next 20 to 30 seconds. So please do watch this. Yeah. So when we talk about facilities management, we cannot forget these frontline workers. So I really appreciate and thanks a lot for these frontline workers who are all sometimes not visible when we recognize the entire stuff here. So starting from the public transportation to the parking, car lot, doorstep, and yeah, to the workspace, cleaning, till the business comes to new normal or business is back to the normal. So these people were struggling a lot and helping us to bring back to the normal. So with this gratitude, we will go into the facility management related topic. So priorities in facility management usually focus on managing people, processes, and ensuring health and safety. However, the facility managers like maintenance and engineering managers should also improve the efficiency and use technologies to optimize their duties. As a facility managers, there is a lot of lot of things on their plate. So that really shifts the landscape of COVID-19 pandemic, which brought a new set of challenges for the management roles. So introduction of safety guidelines and new COVID variants has dominated how the facility managers do their job for the last 2 years. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 brought a new set of challenges for maintenance and engineering managers and facility managers. They established protocols, procedures for building entire institutes of social distancing norm within the properties, significantly reducing the building occupancy. Navigating the facilities, operations, maintenance, landscapes changed drastically when pandemic hit, but there is a hope and there is light at the end of what seems to be an endless dark tunnel. They are even the center of disease control and preventions continuously monitor the changing pandemic and adjust the workplace guidelines accordingly. Until the COVID-19 Delta variant even outbreak, the local governments were lifting the restrictions on workplace, and many remote working people were on the still or also preparing to return to work soon. While the new variants of COVID-19 continue to emerge, business still want to maintain some level of workplace operations. As a facility manager, how to prepare for return to work model and also account to all the operational processes that have emerged or changed during this pandemic. So we will see what are the four top business drivers which is really impacting the facility managers during COVID. One of the primary business drivers for facility managers will be ensuring that health and safety within a workplace. Needs for facility and personnel will vary based on industry. However, the COVID-19 has forced all industries to change operational process to meet the guidelines and regulatory safe workplace guidelines. So facility managers will have to focus more on air quality, surface cleanliness, mitigating the spread of viruses. So this might include improving the ventilation system, indoor air quality, and so on. And even required wearing protective personal equipment when they didn't have to do this before. So to improve the workplace safety, the facility management managers should the consider enhancing the sanitization and cleaning protocols for disinfecting the facilities, and they need to maintain the ventilation and air quality assessments and HVAC systems management and so on. So even the facility managers will have to overcome the new challenges. With the challenges comes to the organization to have agility and flexibility. According to the some of the research reports, the organization will need to be flexible enough to respond to the changes without being solely guided by the events. So up until the pandemic, the facility managers might have been involved in organizational and strategic decision making to some extent. As a role of the facility manager is rapidly evolving, they make critical strategic decisions regarding facility design, creating roadmaps, and how to overcome some of the operational challenges of COVID-19. Most of the companies are already adapting facility roadmaps based on the National Safety Board guidelines. And these roadmaps will have to account for reduced usage in facility, changes in intertraceability, increase in technological infrastructure, and so. So the hybrid model is what the way of working currently. You can see some different models of hybrid. What is mean by how hybrid? What's the different types of shown here? So whether it is accounting for decreased usage of the space or increased restrictions as far the gathering goes, the facility managers might foresee the roadmap that involves in the large percentage of hybrid work. Open space environment activity-based working are significant concerns nowadays. So the use of infrastructure will be considered and required changes will account for available time for the space and the collection of information and what can and cannot be done within an area. So technology will play a significant role in changing these infrastructure. So flexibility, sustainability may outweigh price in terms of continued optimized operations. So the facility managers may need to navigate the hybrid operating model more regularly depending on how the organizational workflows. Performance and productivity management will play a considerable role now here then for the facility managers in their activities. So they are doing same work in evolving land space, both under changing circumstance and the new environment. So these hybrid models was highly positive that is allowed businesses that the ability to continue operating. So accepts the belief that virtual working will enable companies to take a step forward with the COVID worries. So the when the workforce comes back to the office and they're back to the normal, you need to ensure that the facility is clean and hygiene so that their performance and productivity are not affected. So previously, these were or not the role of major role of the facility managers. Now this become a mandate or their key performance indicator in their day-to-day job. So one of our market research says that found that all agreed that there was a long-term cost saving impact from COVID. In short term, the building would save on real estate and facility expenses, including HVAC cost, water use, electricity, and fuel costs. The company of any industry might downsize altogether to find a new location and only offer option to work from the office. Therefore, the facility would be running on decreased schedules or 24/7 schedules with automations incorporated. So in terms of air quality or the maintenance of the assets, the facility managers will still need to seek improvement in current facilities. At present, most HVAC systems are not designed to stop the spread of COVID, and the higher the filtering rate could restrict the airflow. So the facility managers will strongly encouraged to implement such a monitoring, measurement, and the predicting technologies. So which will be cheaper and replacing the systems very easily. So there is a report from a market research. So which says that there is a strong financial pressure that COVID continues to imply on the facility management team. That was when a question asked that which is the most important thing what the team is tracking during this last 2 years, the COVID related spends. So which is something now become more focused for facility managers. So they need to be more productive so that they can save cost and operate optimally. Similarly, when another question asked, what are their current focus as a priority in their day-to-day activities for facility management? So here, so most of them also said that evaluating the technologies, which can help them to ensure the employee safety, which help them to also adapt the changes very quickly. This was the major answers from those surveys. So these are the different challenges what we have seen here. But so how to navigate this change? So as a facility manager might find that their reliance on technology infrastructure, hybrid models, and managing clean air is more important to daily operations than previously. So this shows a distinct shift to business health as a core business drivers for most facilities in the post-COVID times. Consider using the sustainability facility, cost-saving tools, and technology to determine how facility can cut cost through behavioral changes and upgrades. So one of the way to navigate is obviously through technology. So today I would like to share 10 technological trends which is making the facility management easier. So which is ever shifting landscape, technology and data driven insights, or the transforming the facilities in the management industry. So to navigate these changes, we need technology, data driven insights, strategies to make the job easier. Not only will this improve the workflow, but it will also allow us to maintain the facility properly, making happier workers and building tenants. Here are the 10 technological trends which I like to share one by one. The number one is something simpler technology, but it is more powerful, which helps the workplace to work smart and touch-free or contactless using QR code based systems, where we can raise complaints, request, even raise a purchase order, and generate a checklist to do the maintenance procedures, control the HVAC systems and lighting, book the facility rooms, and book workspaces. This is something like currently a simpler technology, but it has a powerful benefits, and also it's more touchless and contactless. Number two is about how can we use the workflow process automation softwares to improve the safety, accountability, and compliances. There are, if you take any work order for a facility management, as per the compliances process, they need to follow at least 10 to 15 steps. And each steps they need to maintain the document, have checklist, get the approval, maintain the file, and manage the versions, and so on. So with the help of the workflow process automation, this can be easily reduce the use of paper and improve the productivity, and also bring visibility and transparency in the process, which can bring a lot more benefits. Using the digital twin technology. Okay, so digital twin is has a different definition, but as per some of the standard market research like Gartner or McKinsey, so they says that whenever there is a system which gets connected with its own subsystems and bring a transparency and predictability stage, okay, so then it's called digital twin. Most of the time it has been used, this terminology has been used in manufacturing or energy infrastructure, but this is something very much feasible and required for facility management also, which will improve the occupant comfort and satisfaction. So some of the use cases for the facility management in say example of residential or villas kind of infrastructure is smart kitchen, how to have a structured asset maintenance, like identifying the abnormality to booking the resources to executing the maintenance and identifying the root cause and the corrective action and preventive action. So entire smart asset management, how it can be done. And also the audit systems. It can be 9,000 or 18,000 or 27, 21,000. So whatever the standards it may be, how can be automated with digital and how that can be integrated into a single transparent system. And also the energy management and the utility management, how these data is also stitched together and to bring a digital twin of the physical world is an important trend which is happening around this infrastructure and facilities. With the help of robotics and autonomous systems, so can we relieve the overworked personals or the people who are all not available during the COVID situation or during the high demand capacity situations. There are nowadays the robots are available for various use cases in the infrastructures and facilities, like starting from from reception kiosk to cleaning robots, material movements robots, food and medicine carrying robots, even sometimes medicine shipment through drone and waste disposal robots and so on so. And these robots now can closely or integrate with the enterprise application and even understand the human interactions and work accordingly. So with the help of prescriptive analytics or artificial intelligence, so nowadays is not just a monitoring a system and taking some basic alerts. It's nowadays it is possible to create a intelligent guided system in place which can help in order to identify the automated root cause for any abnormality, say in terms of say compressor, if it is getting failed, what is the root cause of the failure, and what could be the potential corrective action, and what should be the preventive action so that in future we can avoid such kind of situations. So all this are now available and possible with the AI technologies. So for that, but the basic knowledge base of the processes and the the datas from the systems should be integrated and connected to have such a successful AI implementations. So these are all some of the technologies which is advancing the facility managers and helping them more productive and helping them in saving cost in order to in terms of the operational expenses. So with the help of the IoT and the sensors and big data, the energy and utilities can be measured, analyzed, and optimized across the various equipments like electricity, water, thermal, gas, kind of its consumption, and how to analyze and benchmark with the standard specification and with respect to the industrial specification and how it can be optimized for the cost. So these smart technologies will help the infrastructure and facility managements to be more sustainable and efficient. So in some of the service sectors like hospitals, the assets are not only the physical thing, the patients, staff, the clinical equipments and operational equipments all are considered as assets, and sometimes it's all movable. So the asset tracking using the BLE or RFID based system, which will help in real-time location of the tracking the real-time location of valuable assets such as scanners, X-ray machines, beds, wheelchairs, and etc. across the hospitals. It helps the clinical staffs to identify the areas that are under or over equipped or assets that are misplaced. So the room level occupancy to support the mobile medical equipment management are nowadays possible. So reports showing asset movement, alarms, and preventing the thefts are some of the key features of such a real-time location tracking or track and trace. And this is very much possible to integrate with the other enterprise applications like building management system or elevators or door locking and security cameras. So escalating the system of alerts and security measures as assets approach the doors and elevators are possible with such kind of a real-time location track and trace. So this brings the benefits of reducing time to search for the equipment during emergency, and it increases staff satisfaction and also improve the clinical work. So these track and trace systems are nowadays heavily used in manufacturing sectors where we have an experience in implemented, and so same thing is something we felt is possible to implement in the facilities also, or the service sectors like hospitals or any other emergency response facilities. Now, when we have such a data-driven facility, it is also feasible to map. Okay, they call facility condition index. With respect to the aging of the facility and its asset. So this gives very clear picture that which are the equipments or facilities in a good condition, or which are in a poor condition, or it's going to be breakdown. It can be very clearly mapped, and budgets can be prepared so that the organizations can financially prepared to solve and or respond and resolve those issues proactively, so that the facilities is ready for health and safe workplace, and it is flexible, and it's like a productive workplace for the people. That has a now key role for facility managers. 3D printing has been around since 1980s, developed for applications in research and development, and used primarily to create test parts and mockups. The technology was limited in its real world usefulness with modern materials. However, the usefulness of end product has expanded. Automotive, aerospace, and defense manufacturers use 3D printing technology to make parts for vehicles, aircrafts, and use it to make parts for the aeroplanes, jewelries, to create an unique design pieces. What is even more fascinating about the evolution of 3D printing is the way the medical technology field has adapted. It is in order to produce the custom limbs, bone replacements, and so on. So use cases for the customized organs and tissue repairs. While the growth of sales is far from the facilities world, the manipulation of metals, plastics, and hybrid materials certainly is within the realm of usefulness. Imagine needing a specialty replacement part for a piece of equipment in a facility. With the use of 3D printing technology, we can scan the defect parts or model a new version, then print the replacement part in a short order, bypassing the need of the research the order of the very old facility infrastructures and waiting for arrival of new part. Obviously, 3D printing technology has some limits when it comes to the material, but the possibilities of its applications are expanding, and printing devices are becoming more economical and more widely available, going to be used in facility management as well. Last but not the least, the how can be more productive in the maintenance activities of the facilities or the work instructions on the facilities using augmented reality or virtual reality or mixed reality. So they call immersive technologies. So these immersive technologies are used in two areas of facility management. One is to get the training of the environmental health and safety of the facility workers, and the procedures training. Likewise, such a trainings is an area where the immersive technologies can be used. Another area is going with paperless guided work instruction using augmented reality or mixed reality, which will avoid the experienced or knowledge oriented workers in the field whenever there is an emergency response is required. Even yeah, not completely trained people can also execute a work with the help of such a augmented reality or remote guidance kind of a technology. So that is something changing the trend of the facility managements in their field activities. So we have seen these 10 technological trends, which is shaping up the future of facilities are already happening. So how to transform? where to start, why to start, when to start, and what to start. This could be a question for all the facility leaders or the management of the organization. So how can we invest? What would be the return on investment will be the question. So to do that, it's always, as recommended, we can no need to start from the advanced or deep tech or the advanced level of technologies to be implemented. Of course, there should be a way to transform for such a future of facilities. This is a model or the transformation maturity approach written by Architect, who are the people who coined Industry 4.0, 12 to 15 years back. So this could be an approach what the facility managers could explore and plan their strategic roadmap in order to implement such a technologies for the business benefits. So I'll just give an explanation very quickly. What are the different terms for the people who are all seeing it newly? So computerization is something already the system is available, Excel sheet or the basic ERP systems or asset management systems, which are all working on silos and not connected. So that's a computerization. Connectivity is how all the man, machine, material, and systems or methods, okay, getting connected and with the help of sensors or integration APIs and available as a connected system using the internet, either broadband or cellular connectivity based systems. Visibility is how these data are available and we are able to see what has happened in the system. For example, if any abnormality happen in our RO plant, what is whether this particular RO plant is working or not working. If it is not working, what is the potential root cause? And if for this potential root cause, what could be the potential preventive action, corrective action, preventive action? Such a visible system is called the visibility. And when we have all these enterprise applications of a facility, like it can be an ERP or enterprise asset management, or it can be a building management system, or it can be the industrial IoT systems, all getting integrated and seamlessly when it starts working together, which brings the transparency and also this brings the digital twin capability of the entire facility management. And when we have such a maturity level, it is very much possible to do the forecasting or the predictive capabilities of the facility management. For example, predictive maintenance, budget forecasting, capital planning, and facility index calculations. Those things can be very much possible. And when we have such a predictive capability, then we can able to implement the design of experiments or simulation of the facility management. For example, for the current upcoming the rainfall season, how can I plan my resources with the current capacity and where are the resources are allocated currently? So those things can be forecasted and simulated for the business benefits. So this could be a transformation approach, and this has to be implemented or matured consistently across the different functions of facility management. When I say the functions, it can be human resource, it can be asset maintenance, it can be cleaning resources, or it can be for the billing and help desk process. So all the functions should consistently transform into these stages to reap the benefits of Industry 4.0. So that's about the what are the drivers and the key technology trends and the transformation about the facility management. Here I'd like to highlight some of our capabilities, what we have built so far, which is something applicable for the future of facilities transformation. So Maxbyte has for the last 6 years as a vision, we are building our technological products and services in order to help the industry for today and tomorrow and for the futures. So we call our platform as Industry X.0 platform, and we strongly believe digital alone cannot close the loop of the autonomous operations. It needs robotics and automation capabilities in order to have an autonomous capability of an industry to achieve the highest level of Industry 4.0. So to do that, we have built our products and validated and implemented in the industries like digital. We have a product called Byte Factory, which has the ready to deploy our own apps and also some of our partner apps from connectivity, visibility, digital transparency stage, predictability, and prescriptive levels of Industry 4.0. And also we have built our own product on robotics for in industrial or infrastructure autonomous vehicles like forklifts, pallet trucks, industrial cleaning equipments, and micro mobility application platforms like for material movements, medicine movements, and the kiosk movements. Even some of our customers working for the snacks and coffee movements inside the factories, or the different robotics application what we are building. So to go in deep into the digital part of it, so we call it as a digital twin solutions for smart connected facilities transformation. So our capabilities here are in terms of from connectivity. If you remember the transformations in the Industry 4.0, so we are built or even building, and some of the apps are in validation stage, which is or from visibility to connectivity to transparency to predictability. Say, if you could see in the left side, so these apps can be used for the people who are all, they can be in the facility managers can be in visibility stage. Some facility managers may be in advancement in transformation or predictability stage. So from all the levels, the applications are or the solutions are available, which can be readily deployed as per the requirements. And most of the things are out of the box. And if any customizations are required, it is possible. Say, for example, you can see in the first layer, it's all the paperless or knowledge-based systems like audits and compliance workflow, maintenance checklist, and QR code-based work procedures. The experience capturing the knowledge base and having it is like a knowledge-based portal, which is going to be in future used as a AI chatbot tool, and digital job cards and workshop management for the facility workers, facility condition assessment tool. So these are a paperless or touch contactless related solutions, which are all part of the visibility. In top of that, you can able to see all related to the connected or connected devices or IoT related solutions like asset maintenance. When I say asset, it can be the electricity, water, thermal, gas related assets in the facilities. And in terms of utility, energy and utility insights is a special tool which has a capability to measure, analyze, and optimize the energy and utilities of the system. And man-machine material real-time location system, environmental health and safety, like fire detection, smoke detection, say surveillance related systems using IoT, and real-time attendance and healthcare index systems. So these are all the connectivity and visibility stage using the IoT-based technologies. In top of that, it's more about the integration and augmented intelligence, like BMS or BIM integration APIs, AR for work instructions and maintenance, VR for EHS or maintenance or facility trainings, not only for the facility frontliners and also for the tenants or the customers or the occupants, and the remote guided assistance using augmented reality, and also the leadership KPI insights from the frontline workers to the CEO or the management of the facility, the dashboards in mobile and web applications, And it's not just a simple dashboard. It's about contextual insights, role-based. Nowadays, when we have so much of data, it's going to be like a share market. So these tools are like contextual dashboards, which brings relevance to the insights. On top of that, all the predictive capabilities, AI chatbots for corrective action, preventive action, and root cause analysis, then simulation and analysis services, surveillance and inspection, video analytics, and the digital thread for facility management. So when I say digital thread, it's connecting the entire value chain. That's the highest level of the industry 4.0 maturity level. When I say the value chain, it's from the downstream value chain of assets, spare parts, MRO to the manufacturers, in the upstream value chain to the comfort level of the occupants. So that's the entire value chain connection. That's the highest level, which comes with a lot of customizations for different industry sectors. So that's our our technology, products, and services capability for the smart connected facilities transportation. In terms of robotic solution, mainly to make the facilities as autonomous operation, we have majorly two products. One is we transform the existing the industrial mobility like forklifts, pallet trucks, cleaning, carting kind of vehicles into autonomous vehicles. So we either we provide it as a robot as a service. We provide a new vehicle. We have a separate manufacturing facility in Coimbatore for this, or we retrofit the existing vehicle into a autonomous vehicle. The second product variant is called Mark A500. That is for like a micro mobility application. So the base platform is standard, but we have the multiple application use cases like vending machine or surveillance robo or trolley or kiosk or food carrying robo kind of a platform. And we provide these suites of products and services using our accelerator program, which is completely aligned with the industry 4.0 maturity transformation, what we saw in the previous slide, like visibility, transparency, predictability, and adaptability. So any company, it's not a one overnight point solution transformation. It is a journey. Any organization would take at least 5 to 10 years. Sometime it can go beyond that to have the entire transformation towards Industry 4.0 for the current adoptions capability. We even recently published a report specifically on the refrigeration and air conditioning industry. What are the next from our survey? What is the digital maturity transformation for the next 2 to 3 years? Similarly, we are also having a report for facility management going to release soon. So we go with a structured approach. We always start with the discovery. We help the facility management to understand, again the question why, what, when, how, what to start the technology and how they can transform. In terms of doing a strategic assessment and roadmap, implementing a proof of value, and educating them in the industry transformation. And they can go with as per their priorities at a startup stage with the key or priority use cases. They can scale up with the existing infrastructure, and they can scale up with their multi-site or a global site implementation. End of the day, the goal is to improve the health and safety, make the organization and the workforce more agile and flexible, and how the facility management can also help in performance and productivity and run in optimized operational expenses. So this as a goal, this entire accelerator program, we work with our customers. I'll quickly touch upon few case studies. I think already I have taken a time of, it's going to be 15 minutes. I'll quickly touch upon few case studies here. So this is one of the case study where we have connected already running 500 plus chillers across a region and doing the predictive service using the machine learning and big data analytics kind of a technology in order to predict potential next service in the coming month or a week for the HVAC chillers in the buildings like hospitals or corporate offices or villas or apartments. So this are the dashboards of that. So it's built based on the various scenarios or of equations. Around 35 plus scenarios has been considered in building these predictive service algorithm. The second case study is the industrial energy diagnostics or and analytics, where we connect from the grid to the transformer, from transformer to the different plants or factories, and from the factories to the line level to the machine level. So for the last mile reach, we connect the energy meters and collect the data and provide the insights in terms of the energy loss and the power factors and what are the assets consuming and over consuming beyond the baseline and benchmarking and and also integrating this with the financial database for the costing also, and also integrations with the grid to forecast and the demand analysis to negotiate the pricing with the electricity board or the power generation house. So that's an energy analytics case study what we have implemented. This is actually an interesting case study. Is the medical dialysis process. When the doctors start the dialysis, they need to pass the highly purified water into the veins or bloods when they do the dialysis. So it's in one of the hospital. Of course, most of the places still it is like that. They do a manual check of the water quality in terms of RI or a pH value, and understand the hardness and ensure that it's highly purified. Then only they pass the water. So now this system, so we monitoring the real time data of the RO plant, and which is accessible in the mobile app, and with the reports and real time data with the the nurses and doctors. Before they start, they check the real time data. What is something really getting passed into the blood, and then they can confidently do the dialysis process. Another example in terms of the facility is the pipe leakage. It could be a water, oil, gas, where the pipe is getting leaked, and in what pressure, and in what location, and when the person is going there, how to service that particular uh, pipe leakage using the digital checklist or autonomous checklist or preventive maintenance or breakdown maintenance, whatever the kind of a digital checklist, and also with augmented reality based work instructions. So that's a pipe leakage case study, which is something we have. This is actually a joint collaboration development with Ecolabs in Singapore. They are like an energy sustainability research in the industry. So jointly developed, and we have implemented this. This is a very quick demo about the it's a very simple tool. You just need to scan the QR code. You need to it will pop up the checklist. The uh, uh, checklist will have all the maintenance procedures, um, and the operator or the facility manager fill those checklists, and it automatically comes to this workflow, and they can allocate the person to resolve it, and plan their calendars and schedule, and and take the corrective action, preventive action, and record it, and also even budget the maintenance, and approval workflow. So interesting are available as a one in one place. So that's a very simple tool, which is which helps the facility operators or the workers to be touch free, paperless. Sorry, there is a spelling mistake here. And yeah, workflow automation for the smart asset maintenance. Next is a quick video about a digital twin of the entire facility. So you can able to see here. It's actually it's not just a data or an information. It's more about the intelligence of the entire digital system by integrating the various applications like ERP or ERP data, PLM data, or the asset maintenance, enterprise asset management, HRM database, and IoT data. So the entire stuff, and also which is visible in a 3D visualization in a web interface. There is no separate software required for this. So this we can zoom in sorry, from world map to the site location, from site to the plan to the flow to the machine level. This can be visualized, and even for the maintenance procedure, what are the step by step it has to be approached. So such a level of reality can be replicated in this digital twin. We call it as a iTwin. Now we rename it into ByTwin. So that's our solution. Where you can able to see the data coming from OE, which is IoT data, energy is from energy-based data or a BMS data, operator, which operators are working on which area, that is actually from the HRM database, and process comes from ERP related data, and health status of the machines comes again from the IoT condition monitoring. And you can navigate, zoom in, zoom out, and go in deep about the technology. So that's a stuff, and it helps to mainly to be more productive and intuitive rather than going for a lot, so much of dashboards. The facility managers can directly jump into the a place where they can, as like a real situation, they can zoom in and get the data. It's another application called Adam. It's our another AI-based search engine, which is built on top of Microsoft Power BI. So we, for example, as I said before, it's going to be like a share market now. It's going to be further. So much of data is going to be populated for a facility manager, and he'll be sitting in front of 10 to 20 TVs or a television in front of him, or some web application. So he sometimes he may feel overwhelming. So our idea is to make it more minimalism. So just like a Google search engine, search what is your asset, for example, and what is the state of the asset. Any enterprise application. Okay, and this is a quick video about the virtual reality based operations or environmental health and safety training. It's a VR based kit. So we actually provide an entire VR gadgets, and which is available VR as a service. We provide, entire infrastructure we can provide in a subscription basis, and they can able to get the training about the PPE and how to work in hazardous environment when they are working the facility frontline workers or operators, and they what are the things when they should take care using the fire or cutting tool related activities, and welding related activities, and the heavy equipment carrying, what are the things they should take care. So some of things standard libraries are available. If some customized training manuals for a specific facility management is also possible to develop. So that's such a, we are and also electrical maintenance. So all these things, now sometimes facility managers has to depend on the experienced people during the COVID. They may also get affected, and they may not be available at the right time at the right place. So it's always to have the knowledge base available in such a intuitive or a visualizable training content. So they can interactively practice this, and even any new joinees can take up this work and do the facility management. I think this is the last video. So this is on our autonomous industrial vehicle. This can be okay. This pallet truck variant. Okay, so we have retrofitted the existing pallet truck with our Mark AX platform, which has its own sensors, and also some of the sensors were connected to the platform, and having the Wi-Fi based navigation system. So it navigates across the facility, and it has all the ANSI autonomous level 2 standard for safeties. So it has all the safety obstacle detection systems. and it can navigate. Of course, different use cases are there. This is actually a pallet truck use case, moving the materials from one place to other place. So this can, even whomever the overloaded facility operators or workers, to give some if they are not available. So that time, such a kind of autonomous mobile robots are very much helpful to optimize operational expenses. So this is something like a humanless vehicle or driverless vehicle. This has multiple use cases like pallet trucks, forklifts, industrial cleaning equipments. Like, for example, in railway stations or in hospitals or in airports, we should used to see the cleaning machine operators. So all these mobilities can be completely autonomous, made autonomous using our Mark AX platform. Yeah. Uh, yeah. So just a quick reference architecture for you people to understand how these technologies can get connected. I'm just splitting this into two areas people used to call in the facility management.
The third one is the status alerted.
Sorry. There are in a facility they used to call hard facilities, soft facilities. The hard facilities are more towards the ETP, STP, waste management. The soft facilities are like cleaning, HVAC systems and ACs. So those equipments you already may be connected to a BMS system, or they may not be connected, or they may not be having a BMS system at all. So the nowadays most of the equipment manufacturers like compressors or chillers are all coming with the IoT ready or Industry 4.0 ready control systems, which can communicate and connect and share data. So those data can be connected in Wi-Fi or a broadband or cellular based connectivity in the facility. And that sometimes you need to track the humans, where are they in the current location for health and safety reasons. So those things can be connected with the BLE or RFID based systems. Even nowadays, people are tracking the tree and its growth, and to safeguard the trees, maybe some expensive or valuable trees are there nowadays. So all this can be connected with the internet. Connectivity play a very critical role. 4G is for the current situation, I would say, till the visibility or till the transparency stage of Industry 4.0, the 4G level of connectivity should be sufficient. But when we go for a digital twin kind of an application, is a multi-data getting transferred, communicated bidirectionally, and it needs a good latency speed. Maybe the 5G could be as option, but it has some limitations with some compliance issues. Hopefully, those technologies will help us to be more latency in the future. So all this data goes into the platform. Nowadays, there are 500, 600 platforms are available. Like one of a good platform we usually work is Microsoft IoT Azure Hub. So where we connect all this data into the Microsoft IoT Azure. On top of that, we have our apps, Byte Factory apps, as you saw, for visibility, transparency, and predictability, and other AI-based chatbots and solutions. So those apps work on top of those Microsoft Azure, and of course this can be given access to from people used to call say shop floor to top floor of the facility management and the NOC centers with role-based, contextual-based insights. So it's a reference architecture for you to understand how the technology really works in the real-time situation. One of the important, the last section of my presentation, but it's very important, is the competency. There are when I say competency, there are three key people. I would say one is the working professionals in facility management. People above 40, 45 years old. They're all not. I will not say all, but at least some of the people are not still aware of how to use the technologies. But those time the excels of the world, or some of those tools to be really learned, or to be done a professional certifications. But these technologies are not like that. It's going to be more intuitive and easy to use, and no code, low code kind of technologies only. So those people has to start upskilling themselves. The second set of people are the institutions. Institutions also should understand, say for example, facility management domain, what are the technologies involved, so how they can educate them for the students. It can be on from in their board of studies, how they can improve their curriculum. Third, of course, the students community. So it's a lot of opportunities are nowadays coming up in this kind of a deep tech. So people are now also they are well versed in social media and collaboration. So it's very easy for them nowadays to learn. They're more into their studying, learning towards how to deploy a technology. But the domain is something like a missing piece. A person should go in deep about one domain, say facility management. If a student can master in that, so the job opportunities or it can be more focused and it will be better. So competency play a very critical role in the adoption of the industry 4.0 for facility management. And to do that, MaxPet has started an initiative 3 years back. We found there's a big skill gap. We have a different level of education program. Master class is something like a basic awareness session of 12 hours on technology as well as use cases. And we have workshops for digital managers. Say facility manager, they want to take a career into a digital facility manager. So there is a program. They just come in and come out, go out. They have the entire roadmap ready for their or how to prepare or how to transform their facilities into digital or industry 4.0. There are PG level diploma or certification programs. It's like a 180-hour course. It's like a deep dive course for students and also for working professionals. So that's a education. Also, we support the industry and community to improve their competency and upskill to adapt for such a transformation. So as a summary, uh, yes, the technology is one of the key driver in the facility management transformation, and also it is the business is really driving the health and safety, organizational agility and flexibility, performance and productivity of the workforce, and operating expenses. These are all are not a of course there are it's all the key performance indicators. Now it's a very critical and seen as a core challenges for the businesses, which is not before. So for that, technology is really supporting from connectivity, visibility, transparency, predictability, prescriptive or adaptability kind of technologies will really help some already proven. So the facility managers can really think of how to start if they have not started. And it's a large initiative. We can always think big, but we can start always small, and we can scale fast and plan to succeed. So with this, that's my end of my presentation, and I'll be happy to take question and answers in this session.
Fantastic, fantastic, Mr. Ram Shankar. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Great. We have around 30-40 participants already, and being a working day, I think Friday, very busy morning, prime time. And I wish we had this on a weekend, Saturday. Such a program, I think, Ram, we should repeat also. So it is so much of informative in terms of what all possible, right? I don't know whether my video is.
Yeah, visible, sir. Visible.
Sorry, I want to see my screen, and it is such a fantastic. Achha, my tray was on. I see. Sorry.
We request the speaker to close the presentation, sir.
Yeah. But is my thing appearing?
Now it's coming, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Ram, for a very, very comprehensive. I thought, we already heard for 2 hours, but just he finished everything in 1 hour. 11:15, 12:15 was so crisp and so comprehensive, cutting across several sectors. Before I even read out the text box questions and welcome all the audience to raise questions. I have two major questions. Ram, can I ask you?
Yes, sir, please. Yeah.
Is it visible on the screen?
Yeah, I can see, sir. I can see that. Yeah.
See, I sometimes try to ask questions, one to warm up the participants so that they can start thinking of other questions, and two, also to have a general discussion which is useful for all the audience, with a conscious awareness that this entire webinar is going to be, it's already running live also. And Rupa, am I right that it is going on YouTube live also later? Niranjan?
Sir.
It's going on a YouTube live?
No, sir.
Yeah, with the consent of this one, we can, for the benefit of all the participants and BCIC members, it's very, very important to disseminate, which we have been doing for many
Yes, sir,
other
we will do
programs.
it, sir. We will upload it by the end of the day, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now,
Yes,
my
sir.
first question, Ram, how to
Yes, sir.
monetize and evaluate the return on investment of all facility management digital projects? And my second question, what are the challenges in adaptation in the Indian industry, which you have faced in your own projects and concepts, and how to overcome them, because you are an implementing person. You are not just a webinar kind of a person. So these are my two questions. Over to you, Ram. If you could take up these two questions, and
Yeah,
then
sure, sir.
meanwhile, I'll see the text box.
Sure, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. So whenever it comes to the new technology adoption, ROI is the first question, especially the facility management. We already pressurized by the budgets due to COVID related unplanned activities. So there are two ways we are seeing. One is like a top-down approach and bottom-up approach. I'll start with the bottom-up approach. So the bottom-up approach is already there are some pain points the organization might have identified. For example, the pipe leakage could be a major problem for a facility, say maybe an oil and gas facility, or it can be a HVAC maintenance in order to ensure that the air quality is maintained. So they may have a challenge in that. So likewise, they might have already identified the point problems. So when we go for such a point problems, then when we look for a solution, by default, the ROI is available. And of course, there are some methods are available to calculate, especially with the technologies. So, it is always a success when we go for such approach. Another approach is the top-down approach, where it's more like a strategic from the organization's management level. Nowadays, most of the organizations started the digital transformation as one of their strategic objective. So they have for all the functions of say, let's take an example of manufacturing. So it can be facility, or it can be production, or logistics, or aftermarket. Already they have started the initiative. So when such a strategic objectives are there, it is better to have a clear assessment. Where are we currently with respect to Industry 4.0? As we saw, are we in connectivity, or visibility, or transparency, or predictability, and so on. So, and not just a simple assessment. We should go in detailed assessment in terms of what is the capability of our assets. When I say capability, the connectivity capability, it can be for man, machine, and material. What are the current capabilities of our information system? What are our organizational structure and business model? What are our culture? So when these four structures were assessed with respect to the Industry 4.0, then we'll have a very clear picture where are we in the Industry 4.0, and we will clearly identify what are the real priorities for their own organization. So when we do such kind of a top-down approach, and it is very clear, because when we align with the strategic objective, the ROI is also getting aligned. So we have such an experience, both the way we have worked and experienced and demonstrated ROI. Coming to a second question, in terms of adoption. Okay, So in terms of adoption of technology, I would say from whatever
What are the
we are
challenges? What are the challenges in India you have faced?
yeah.
In the area of facility management.
Yeah. So I can see there is a adoption is compared to the Western world. So nowadays we can able to see there is a better adoption actually in the Indian scenario. But however, there are the challenges mainly, the sometimes the facility management team or they are in a large organizations, they have already taken some initiatives, but how that is getting aligned with the strategic objective, then they can able to budget it and plan the roadmap accordingly. So clearly aligning to the strategic objective of an organization is really important. That we are seeing as a challenge, because otherwise the management level of initiative, if it is not there, buy-in is not there, then such a large roadmap is not feasible. And also the relevant budget also should be allocated. It is not like a small security camera getting installed in a facility. It's a transformation which is going to be implemented. Many technologies and many systems are going to be implemented or changed or integrated. So budget play a very critical role. But nowadays, we can able to see many government schemes are also available, and financing methods also available, which people can say. So budget is one of the constraint what we are seeing as a challenge in the Indian industry.
Okay, so I think the second question indirectly answers the first question. So maybe in another forum, I may request you, BCIC, you might assist by knowledge sharing as to how to do the return on investment computation for digital projects, and all those 50 use cases which you already implemented in the country and abroad. What is the convincing financial logic which you could, because the success stories also we learn a lot, and where you did not succeed also we learn a lot about the return on investment. So the concept can be in more detail in another forum or webinar. Thank you, Ram. Now I request Mr. Nirgude Prasad to go ahead with his audio. Rupa, can you open the audio of Mr. Nirgude Prasad? Because we have only around 20 people now, so they can ask individually instead of my reading out his text box. Mr. Prasad, go ahead, sir. Can you please elaborate your question and seek the opinion of Ram Shankar?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes,
and
sir.
Also mention which company you belong to.
Okay, I'm from Bosch Chassis Systems India Private Limited, Pune.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm working here in the manufacturing coordination function. Yeah.
Oh, great.
So some of my facility management colleagues are also in the same webinar listening to you. Mr. Ram Shankar, first of all, very thank you for an excellent overview you shared. We found it very useful and we can relate very well the industry situation, what we shared. My question is about implementation approach for any use case. Yeah, now in industrial atmosphere, there is a natural expectation that we should have a quick, we should implement a quick ideas. Yeah, whatever ideas are identified, the expectation of management is that there should be a quick implementation of these ideas. Now, in this context, not naturally there is a dilemma whether to follow the systematic project management approach, which asks for phase-wise or let us say sequence-wise implementation of certain steps before we define the project itself. And then accordingly we can better define the project so that we can plan better the activities towards sustainability. So there is always a dilemma whether to spend time on these activities, and even one try to spend time on such activities. Normally the management is not that much of doesn't carry that much of patience because already the money is put in the topic. Yeah. So I just want to know how one should behave in, how one should respond in such situation. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Nirguda and this team. It's a great question. So I would say there should be a parallel track. Whatever the burning issue or already there is a problem identified, should go immediately. And the organization should look for some ready to deploy solution or partner who can implement the solution very quickly and fastly, or develop and implement. Nowadays, it's a very agile world, and more partner ecosystems are available in the world. So if you check for any solution nowadays, it's available in the internet. You can check and ask and understand the demonstration. I would say for all immediate or burning solutions, you should go for immediate deployment. And a lot of ready to deploy solutions are available in the market, or some of the things with us. You can also even explore that. In other side, in parallel, you should also have the vision, or we should envision what's the future of facility. Where are we going to be from today to next 5 years from down the line? And accordingly, we should continuously measure and share the success stories, and plan the next year, and also plan the financial year with the management. So that both should go in parallel, sir. I would say that way. And there is no need to have like a waterfall business project nowadays. It's like an agile-based Scrum model. And there are certain tools available to deploy in a week's time. For example, you might have seen a video I have shown, your QR code scanning to have a basic preventive autonomous or breakdown checklist. It is not a advanced technology. It's a very simple mobile app ready to deploy in a day or two. So those things, no developments are required. So such a low hanging fruits can be taken. Certain complex technologies are there, like for example, predictive maintenance or AI based chatbot. Those can go in a project manner. So that's my suggestion, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I see another hand going up, but that seemed to be more of vote of thanks from Mr. Ravindra Babu. Okay, they seem to be very, very clear about the items presented. Are there anybody else would like to ask any question to Ram on the 10 pillars of facility management, digital manufacturing, digital transformation, or anything else which he presented on behalf of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce? Dr. Narahari, professor from RV College, has joined. Narahari sir, you always have some interesting question for RV College. I'm just reading out because he's a familiar person to me. Dr. Narahari, are you still there, sir? Okay, not audible.
Hello, is this audible?
Mr. Vivekanand.
Yes.
From FANUC?
Bosch Limited.
Bosch. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Vivekanand.
So, presentation is very good. So, my question is, actually, can you explain more about the digital twin and how can it be?
I have another audio coming. Can that be suspended, please?
Okay. So, question is, can you explain more about the digital twin and how can it helpful to the facility management guys?
Yeah, sure, sir. So in terms of the digital twin, as okay, there are different definitions available for digital twin. Okay, as per some of the standard market research reports, what it says is it's an integration of the enterprise applications. For example, in terms of facility management, you may have enterprise asset management, ERP, MRO, HRM, billing systems, and help desk systems. All these systems relevant KPIs integrated together to bring a transparent and meaningful insight is called digital twin. So to do that, you need a layer where a layer or a middleware which can connect to all your enterprises of facility management. As I said, EAM or HRM or WMS or ERP or a help desk or so and so, getting connected, and from there having a dashboard which brings meaningful insights, and also how that can be visualized in a better way, so that you can take a faster decision. And also this brings a predictive or a forecasting capability. So such a integrated and predicting forecasting capability is called the digital twin. That is what we are taking as a definition and implementing, sir.
Maybe I can add a value to this. Ram showed many pictures of how an RO system or a plumbing system can be managed through augmented reality. Augmented reality, Internet of Things, and digital twin go together hand in hand. When a mirror image of the physical system, put in a conceptual way, a mirror image of the physical system could be a compressor or a generator or a transformer yard or a chemical processing unit or RO unit, whatever may be. If you are able to look at it along with the physical system, then you can on a real-time basis draw the data and take also action on the physical system. So that is another way of looking at the perspective of digital twin. The twin is nothing but the physical and the digital going together hand in hand. Anyway, that's a big subject. I want to share one slide now. We are going to have an exclusive session on digital twin in the coming weeks. I'll just share a slide, Ram, if it's okay with you, to talk about
Sure, sir, please, sir.
What is Bangalore Chamber of Commerce planning in the next couple of months, right? Now we have few more attendees are still on the call. Are you able to see my slide?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Rupa, this is a program of 2022, which you and me have designed. Now, today we have done the kickstart of Mr. Ram Shankar talking about the Industry 4.0 for service sectors, to start with facility management, which cuts across all the service sectors as well as manufacturing sectors. But very soon we will have, I think it is next Saturday, smart manufacturing through connected equipment. Mr. Hemant Patel from Tata Technologies, he just retired recently, and he is a consultant from Pune. He is going to share with us his experience on this. Smart manufacturing through connected equipment. I was telling about the digital twin for multiple domains. Multiple domains could be anywhere from automobile, aerospace, facility management, and it could be even for building management. Mr. Ayappan Ramurthy, Director of Siemens Industrial Software, is going to share with us his vast experience and case studies. We will have Mr. Vijay Gunti, he is ex-Deloitte and Accenture, now a freelance consultant in Hyderabad. He is going to talk about digital convergence for optimum implementation. Multiple technologies, how to make them converge, is his major research he is doing himself and spreading that as an evangelist. And we will have Mr. Sundar talking about asset maintenance in process industry. He is himself 30 years in Reliance Petrochem, recently retired. He is a consultant on his own merit. Asset maintenance and maintenance 4.0 is his specialization. And Mr. Chinmay Egde, who is a practicing implementer, he is a partner of Schneider and other companies for smart city across India. He has implemented more than 20 smart cities across India. He will share the success stories and the ecosystem concept, all about India only, smart city. We are not very far away to do it in and around our place. And business value and feasibility of Industry 4.0 projects. This is a most bothering subject for the Indian industry. Mr. Gautam Datta, a fantastic trainer, ex-Siemens Digital Industry, and he is now pursuing his doctorate in Amity University in Gurgaon, Delhi. He has kindly agreed. We have to find this available slot. He's going abroad. Maybe he'll do even from abroad because it's a webinar only. And then last but not the least is a human resource development for Industry 4.0. It will be a panel discussion. I will anchor that. And then it's to build an agile organization. Many times Ram Shankar mentioned about agility, and HRD is a very, very key aspect to build agility at all levels, top management, middle management, lower management, grassroots level, and all across functions, including design to after sales service. How do we address this particular key point? Yeah, there will be a panel of experts who have done good work on this area. So in my view, these are some of the things which are coming up, and this Rupa will share this through a circular with a schedule and all. Schedule may follow later, but at least we will sensitize and request all of you to inform your other colleagues. This is almost all of them are going to be free of cost webinars on behalf of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Right? I'll stop sharing this slide, coming back to the video, and I hope I'm still audible. Yeah, Ram. Okay,
Yes, sir,
I think there seem to be a question bhi aa gaya. Raghavendra Sahab, would you like to raise your hand and or go in the audio and ask it yourself? Which company you belong to, Mr. Raghavendra?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Ram.
Thank you, sir. Which company?
Sir, I am a freelance trainer and consultant now. I have worked in the industry for 35 years.
Wow.
My last appointment was with
Which
ECommerce
industry?
as a Vice President Operations, ECommerce Aerospace.
ECommerce. Wow. I know. Yeah.
So
my
lean journey started in 1989. Hello.
Somebody is very enthusiastic. Okay, Mr. Raghavendra, go ahead.
Yeah, my experience in the last few years as a freelance guy is working with MSMEs, how to bring in the mindset change to adopt these Industry 4.0 solutions when they are refusing to even adopt basics of operation excellence like lean, TPM or TQM. How do we plan to take them so that I can contribute wherever possible?
Understood. I can take this question, then Ram can add to that. First of all, to abbreviate the term ZED is zero effect, zero defect, which is a coinage came after Mr. Modi Sahab took power. Before that, Dr. Manmohan Singh has the same concept in the form of lean for MSME. There are several projects of lean going around in the country. There is a 5-year program, subsidized program, 80% subsidy by the government, 20% to be coughed up by the MSME. In a consortium of around 10 MSMEs can come together and pay the 20%. Very, very low cost program. And then it was reinvented and improvised by including environmental health and safety also, not only quality. So that's called the ZED program. For the benefit of Ram and others, I'm just explaining this. Mr. Raghavendra Sahab, the point is very, very simple. If somebody doesn't want to pay 1 rupee, he's not going to get 2 rupees benefit. But how do we convince him that for every 1 rupee he spends, he gets a 2 rupee benefit? This was a failure of the previous Lean 4.0. This will be the failure of ZED or any other program we try to do for MSMEs. Now, MSME are struggling already with banking problems and central excise problem, GST problem and all those things. So I think at the entrepreneur level, we should not disturb them. I'm very convinced that we should request the entrepreneur to give a champion called a general manager or operations manager, and then allocate a small budget. And as Ram showed, it can be a scaling up from small to big. We can make a point solution to improve his machine or his process, give him the benefit within 1 month or 2 months. As our other friend asked from Pune, how do we give the benefit very quickly? You know, there is no Domino's Pizza for digital transformation. There is no Pizza Hut for digital transformation. There is no McDonald's for digital transformation. There can be no fast food for digital transformation. So we have to convince our management that it is a change management process. Ram mentioned culture has to be changed, technology has to be changed, structure has to be changed, people's competency has to be changed. So like we did 1980s quality management revolution in this country took 20 years for even people to understand. Even at OEMs, not to speak of MSMEs. And then lean management in 1990s took 30 years for people to understand, not only for MSMEs, but even for OEMs. So similar revolution 4.0 is not going to happen overnight. So I think the fast food restaurant concept should be forgotten. My humble request is, even if you make a 3-year roadmap, Ram has pointed out, show the quick wins. We can show quick wins for 1 or 2 projects. But do not do quick wins and then later do a 3-year roadmap design. That is not going to give you the return on investment, because return on investment has to be enterprise-wide, company-wide, whether it is an MSME or whether it is a large company. But in MSMEs, they are busy with other things. The problem why it has failed, quote unquote, is not the mindset. The mind is fully saturated with GST problem, this problem, Nirmala Sitharaman's productivity incentive scheme, how to tap it. You know, I went into the scheme, I found only 1 lakh rupee per annum can be spent by a SME, small medium enterprise, for digital improvement. I am very upset with that. You know, they allocate 1 lakh crore for MSME, but every MSME can spend only 1 lakh rupee per annum. I hope they changed it. I didn't see recently. 2 months ago, I went through. So there has to be a denominator in the productivity incentive scheme, namely the investment, and the numerator should be proved, Mr. Raghavendra, through cost of quality improvement, cost of productivity improvement, cost of cycle time improvement, cost of flexibility improvement. In other words, each of these improvements should give us that monetary benefit. That was my first question to Ram also. How do we monetize facility management programs and then convince the people that yes, I get 1 crore rupee benefit by spending 50 lakhs. That means my payback period is only 6 months. So these are the kind of subjects which not only in MSMEs worried, even the adaptation in OEMs is very slow in India. But ironically, even in Ram's experience, Saudi Arabia and Middle East are picking up very fast in the adaptation of this. Not because they have the oil money. You know, oil money is now going southward because electrical mobility has come. But they are convinced that this is the way to go forward. So how do we convince them? Through sessions on return on investment, etc., both for MSME and the large company. Over to you, Ram, for Raghavendra's question.
Okay, I think Chandramani sir has nailed it, and I just have only one point addition to him is it's also the value chain is is going to drive MSME. For example, one of our OEM customer, they started asking the suppliers, okay, as part of their compliance or audit, to have their equipments or process digital, and that has to be connected to their process, of course, with the secured data way. So that way, for example, 2 weeks back, we got a call from Chennai, one of I think compressor or I forgot or crane manufacturer. So he got an order from an OEM, but the OEM asked that in their vendor qualification process, that equipment has to be IoT enabled by default. So he quickly asking that, can you make it in a week's time? So I think the value chain is already driving the system. So maybe, of course, as said, 20 years it took time for quality. Same way, the OEM might have driven the MSMEs also towards quality. Likewise, the Industry 4.0 is going to be driven by the value chain. And of course, for the OEM, it is driven by the customer experience, end customer experience. Now, all the end customers are well versed with using Spotify, Facebook, app economy. So that is driving the OEM, and OEM drives the MSME. So I think this will accelerate the process.
Absolutely. Which is what I presented to Nirmala Sitharaman, that saying that the hub and spoke model is the very, very important. OEM to tier 1 to tier 2, tier 2 to tier 3. Even the funding of the productivity link scheme, I requested Honorable Finance Minister to channelize it through the OEM, and Bangalore Chamber of Commerce made a memorandum to her, and then I think the Babus are looking at it, so how to incorporate it in a methodical and actionable agenda for the government. Government is a big elephant, it cannot move so fast. Normal method is pump the money through the banking channels, but in China the money is pumped. Stimulus package in 2009-10 was pumped directly in the hands of the end user in China, which is why stimulus package did not succeed in India, but in China it had a big success within 1 year. And having said that, Mr. Raghavendra, you touched a very important chord, that the training and skill building for the MSMEs. There are many free programs, even Matchbite is conducting, and there is a very good program they have. I think, Ram, would you like to type there about the factoryscience.com website in that text box, that more and more awareness training will change the mindset one day or other, right? in the good old days, in the Nehruvian era and subsequent era, India was focused only on getting the output through without much concern about quality. And more noise was made about productivity and very little noise was made about quality. Today, everybody has realized quality first, then only productivity, right? And now after pandemic, safety first, then only even quality. Then health is first, then only even safety. I can lose a finger, but I cannot lose my lungs. So therefore, the priorities have changed over the period of 2 to 3 decades. But today, Ram Shankar has typed there. Please go to it. There are many free classes and many new programs coming up. And some of them are at a very throwaway price. You can attend the master classes, awareness programs are free of cost. Master classes are little small charges there. And then there are workshops. So it is not only to get a certificate, but basically to become aware. And I tell you, even top management can attend some of these classes. I have attended some of them and I learned a little bit after attending them. Thank you so much. I think more questions are welcome by mail. Ram also, I think, is typing his mail ID. I also typed my mail ID. Ram, have you typed your mail ID? So you can interact continuously with the speaker. And because Bangalore Chamber would find it difficult to coordinate all the questions. So me as a chairperson of the committee, I can take some of your follow-up questions. Ram is an expert. I'm not an expert. And he has typed his email ID kindly. Thank you very much. So I'm almost coming to the end of the program. Well, in these programs, we try to disseminate. And as one of the programs I showed you, Mr. Gautam Datta, he is going to address this burning issue, how to convert technology into benefit into value into an advantage, and convince that every function and every department and every company and every value chain ecosystem partner will be benefited out of these technologies. And Germany, Japan, America are going very fast on this. As always, the Western world is quick to understand the return on investment. Nothing wrong. We are a developing country and we have been developing from 1947. So I hope another 30 years we'll be still developing country. And I hope, but we are the IT capital of the world. And when we merge the IT and the OT as an integration, thus is born Industry 4.0. So if we are the IT capital of the world, what we need is only to understand how it can be applied in the Indian industry. Mr. Ram Shankar, thank you very much for a very enlightening presentation. And BCIC may be authorized by you. If you say okay now, they will put it on the YouTube. There are 800 member companies, 400 in manufacturing sector and 400 in service sector, can all get benefited by the knowledge sharing by Maxpert Technology today. Thank you very much. I believe there are no more questions in the text box or otherwise. We reached the end of the program. Rupa, Niranjan, and
thank you, sir.
Thank you so much to all of you. And please watch this column for the next 8 programs I flashed you. There are many more programs coming up.
Thank you, sir.
In the months to come. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time
Thank you,
in joining this session. Thanks for BCA for giving this opportunity. Thank you everyone. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye,
Thank you.
Ram. Thank you all of you.